Oh, how are you? We are here in a new presentation of Casa AM, writers and artists from all over the world. But we are transmitting from Dublin to Wales, and we have common rules. So let me also greet all of you in Irish, all right, and also in Spanish. Día Dich, hola, Conasata Godina, ¿cómo están todos ustedes? Bienvenidos a una nueva presentación from Chikukurilo Kanata Chaesan, escritores y artistas mundiales, Escrinoria Gusayanto y Andawan. Lonaja baila Azaglia, Casquialitroshka, Afogarda, UNESCO y Ara. Adasagaglia y Sanandom. Adasagaglia es mi nombre. Agusis Mishanis Tuhorta Chaeshan. Y soy la directora de Casa Eshan. Muchas gracias. Gorras Milama Agatkole. Bienvenidos. Welcome to everybody to this presentation we have for you. A beautiful surprise. Yes, because we have another from India, and her name is Suchismita Goshal. I don't know if it is correctly pronounced, but I'm trying to do my best. Okay. Nosotros tenemos hoy para presentarles nada menos y nada más que a nuestra querida escritora Suchismita Goshal. She hails from West Bengal. Ella es de el oeste de Bengal, India, en la India. At the age of 25, she has been continuously leaving her footprints in the contemporary literary world. Y a los 25 años ella comenzó a dejar sus huellas en este mundo literario. She is widely published author, internationally reputed bilingual poetess, spoken word poetess, professor, writer, content writer, editor, critic, and language translator. Como verán, es muy polifacética. Realmente es una autora muy conocida internacionalmente, es bilingüe, es una poeta que realmente también es escritora de contenido, editora, crítica y además es traductora. Yes, she is language translator, Bengali and English, Bengali y también inglés, performing poetess, communicator and literary influencer. Ella también es influencer. La verdad, es apasionante su biografía, era independent thinker. También es independiente, una pensadora independiente, humanitarian, and change enthusiast, spiritual aspirant, and philanthropic. So that's beautiful. She's been invited to many international festivals. Ella ha sido invitada a diferentes festivales internacionales and open mix y en micrófonos abiertos. Her awards, accolades, and achievements not only inspire her more to write, but also to influence her through the kindness of her words, her solo books. Listen to this. Sus libros individuales son los siguientes: Fields of Sonnet, campos de sonetos, Emotions and Tantrums and Poetry in Quarantine, y también tantrums y emociones y poesías en cuarentena. They are available on Amazon website. Se pueden conseguir en el lugar, en el sitio de Amazon. She has collaborated with the famous Greek children's author, Miss Eva Petropoulou, Lianoy, for her in Lianoy. I think it is the pronunciation, but then we are going to check for her impeccably conceptualized fourth literary work, an ecstatic renaissance between Greece and Greek and India. Yes, Greece and India. That's wonderful. Además, este libro ha sido realmente un renacimiento entre Grecia e India through poetry by the efficiency of international reputed traditional publication firm, Ukiyoto Publishing House. Her fourth endeavor, an ecstatic renaissance between Greece and India through poetry, has embarked on a journey to grab the desired attention and secure a reputed position in the, I don't know the exact pronunciation, Shaha International Book Fair. Is that?
Sharjah International Book Fair, Dubai International Book Fair, actually.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, UAE. In the 2023 edition, she strives towards all the creative things which meet on a point of convergence and keeps her spirit up sky, touching high for miracles to happen. Oh, that's really beautiful. Welcome, welcome, Suchismita Goshal from India.
Namaste. Namaste.
Okay.
Thank you so much for this wonderful welcome, ma'am, for this wonderful recitation of my uh, biography. And you have done it in an amazing way. And I'm feeling extremely honored to be on this platform and to greet all across the world, to all the artists. And it's my immense honor and pleasure that I have been invited to this Wells Expo Wells Festival of different artists, writers, and so many art and cultural enthusiasts. So thank you very much. A very
Thank
good
you very
afternoon from
much.
India.
Muchísimas
Namaste.
gracias. Thank you very much. Suchismita nos está agradeciendo por ser parte de esta Expo Wales, Expo Gales, y realmente se encuentra complacida de ser parte de esta plataforma. So thank you very much. For us, it's really a pleasure to have you here and from India. It's really extraordinary. Well, this is the miracle of communication. We can be communicated from one part to another part of the
Another
world.
part. Exactly. Exactly.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. And tell us a little bit about your beginnings in this literary work. How were they? How were those
So,
beginnings?
uh, so looking back at that time, it feels really a miracle because it has been so full of happiness, sadness, and many things all together. It was a roller coaster journey because when I started writing, I was only in 12th standard, or maybe a student of 16 years old. And then I just started writing on my diary, and I used to write short quotes and whatever I used to feel like. You can say childhood memories as memoirs or diary writing. And then I found one platform which I feel grateful to have been finding that platform. That the name was that was Meraki. It was all about writers across the world. They can share their thoughts there. They can write poems, they can write stories, anything in format. So I was just searching for different social media platforms, and I was just so curious about that, that how can I find one good platform for writing, because I had no clue of that. Well, it was already 2016 or 2015. I was trying to search, and then I found it, and I feel very lucky about that. And I started writing my quotes there. Eventually, I found many of the poets there. Some were of my age, and some were seniors to me. And I found them writing poems and got very inspired to write poetries without knowing different forms of poetries in literature. Like, there are different forms: ballads, there are dark poems, there are ABCD format poems, and so many things. But I did not know all of them. But I just started writing in some verses and in lines. And that's how I just switched to poetry. And I found it extremely nurturing, extremely nourishing, and it was so close to my heart that I switched to poetry. I tried, even I went further, and then I tried short stories, writing short stories. It was a all beautiful journey. Then slowly I switched to knowing more of the literature, history of literature. I know many things about the poets, about many literature, many writers, authors, and their books. So it was altogether a wonderful journey. I started reading more novels because I my language is Bengali, and Bengali is so enriched with good literatures like Rabindranath Tagore, Vibhuti Bhushan Bandyopadhyay, and there are so many names. I can even the list don't end. I can even not correctly remember all of them, but it was so amazing that my interest grew in literature. Then I started taking part in different anthologies by getting called by them, because they started telling me, like, some publications showed their interest in my poems. They found me able. I am also grateful to them today that they have given me one platform to make my writings immortal, because we all know that
Wonderful.
how writers are loved, like through books which are never going to be erased, because it gives us the permission of preserving our art, it gives us that access of immortality of whichever we have created. Like, it
So,
gives us a platform of our creations getting to be adored by generations to come. So I'm truly lucky about them. And then in 2019, yeah, luckily I was noticed by one of the publication house named as Swipe Pages Publication House, which is based at Chennai, India. And they just came to me and told me that you have written a wonderful poem for our anthology. Why don't you try for writing your own book? I was so little at that point of time. I was only 20 or maybe 21 years old. And then they told me that let's get published, you can get published, and we are not just charging you anything, because we saw you are very capable, you have the potential to write a very good book. Why don't you just compose and compile all of your poems to here?
that was
And I thought
wonderful. A really surprise. Let's
it
see a
was
little bit
so
to the
amazing.
audience
Yes,
what you
that's
had.
how Fields of Sonnet was created, my first solo poetry book. That was the
That's
story.
wonderful, that was wonderful. Les contamos un poquito a la audiencia que ella comenzó a escribir a los 16 años, 16 years old. So she was very, very, very young. Ella era muy, muy jovencita y comenzó a escribir líneas, versos y además a ir a una plataforma. And thanks to that platform, you have begun to write and to contact
Exactly.
other writers. Y gracias a esta plataforma en la que ella ingresó, comenzó a escribir versos, líneas, poesía, a compartirlas con otros escritores y también a conocer otros escritores, porque ella dice que, por supuesto, que escribir es una forma de llegar a la inmortalidad. Yes, it's true. Writing is also a way to be immortal because our words are there forever and for different generations, porque nuestras palabras están ahí para, ¿no? Por siempre y para otras generaciones. En el 2019, in the year 2019, ella publicó también, bueno, una de las casas de India, en la, obviamente en la editora, la contactaron y le dijeron que her poem was really beautiful and she was able to publish a solo book y que ella podía publicar también su libro, un libro totalmente de ella. And she was 21 years old. Y ella tenía nada más que 21 años, so she was very, very young. And she finally had her first solo book. Which is the name of your solo book? The first one.
Yes, the name of my solo poetry book, my debut book, that is Fields of Sonnet, and it's a book of more than 40 poems. And I have written them with all my heart, and it was published in 2019. So that was the starting of my journey as a solo author. So it's very special.
That was an amazing experience. The first,
Exactly.
we always say the first son, paper sun because we feel so excited with our first book. I
Exactly.
remember my first book. Oh, I was enthusiastic. I want to make
It's
a
an amazing feeling.
party.
Yes, it's an amazing feeling. It cannot be restricted to words.
Yeah,
It is beyond any words,
yeah,
actually.
that's true. And so, what happened after the first book was your first book was published? What happened later?
So
Because
the first, when I just got my first book published, so I was extremely happy, and my family was very happy to see me getting honored with my words, and they started believing in my capabilities. And slowly I just started switching my platform from Miraki to another social medias. Like I created my real own page on just for my writings, which was named as Storyteller Suchishmita, which is in Instagram. I am still writing on that page and getting garnering all the love and all the appreciations.
let's say to the audience to follow you. De esta manera, esta cambió de Miraki, de la plataforma Miraki, a tener su propio espacio en Internet, Storyteller Suchismita, ¿sí? Then we are going to write that in the comments too for the audience to follow you, okay? And she's also in Instagram. Y ella también se encuentra en Instagram. Which is your Instagram?
It is Storyteller Suchishmita.
Storytelling Suchismita. Okay. Do you have also a Facebook page?
Yes, definitely. I have my own Facebook profile with only my name, Suchishmita Goshal, and one page. The name of my page is Creations of Suchishmita.
Creations of Suchismita, creaciones de Suchismita, ¿ok? El nombre está escrito en la pantalla. Her name is in the screen, ¿ok? So you can copy. Entonces pueden copiarlo de ahí. You can copy that. Pueden copiarlo de ahí. We have a Spanish audience too. So I have to translate from time to time for them to
Yes, yes.
follow us,
That's
okay? No,
absolutely
no
fine.
worries.
That's absolutely fine.
No worries, no worries. Well, let's continue telling to the audience, but now about your second book, because you have a second book too. So, which is the title of your second book?
And and as we all know that in 2020 we were all locked in our homes and COVID came. It was a very trying times for us, and it was completely, we are completely unfamiliar with all those happenings, like how a pandemic can make us home locked and give us a certain amount of stress, anxiety, and we have no idea of what future can bring to us. So at that point of time I started writing poems on quarantine and many things. And then it was another good opportunity from my second publishing house, which I feel extremely grateful to them, that they opened a chance for many authors to get their book published by writing on quarantine or writing their thoughts through ebooks, through digital books. And I just grabbed that opportunity, and they published two of my books with 20 of my poems, separately giving 10 poems in each volume. And thus the second and the third short books, which are my solo books again, and they came as digital books through Kalamus Publishing. And I gave them the name Emotions and Tantrums, because at that point of time we know that we are going through many depression and anxiety issues, being home locked. So I wrote poems at that point of time on those issues, and I make it as with the name of Emotions and Tantrums. And the second one is Poetries in Quarantine, how one can feel in home locked. How does one feel when one is caged at home and doing all time cleaning hands and doing many
Okay.
things, cleaning
We
hands
didn't
and
know what to
cleaning
do.
our clothes. Yes, it's truly,
It's
it was horrible
true.
time. It was definitely a horrible time. We are becoming maniac. We are becoming many people were I what should I say, like uh, they had these OCD problems because of COVID only. So it was totally a shattering time and unsettling time. So
Yeah.
I wrote those
It was
books.
terrible. I cook. I have cooked. I have written. I didn't know what to do. I had plans, new plans. I didn't know what
Exactly,
to do.
exactly.
I have watched television, but mainly I have eaten a lot. What about you? Have you eaten a lot during the pandemic too?
So I have written two of my books at that point of time. As the one is Emotions and Tantrums, and
Ah,
the
yes,
second
yes,
is
I know.
yes, and
And
they
so
are
you have
available.
written two books because it is 20. There are 20 poems in one and 20 poems in the other one.
Yes,
Is
yes,
it true?
yes.
Okay, I will tell the audience. Yo le estaba comentando a Suchismita que nosotros, bueno, en pandemia no sabíamos ya qué hacer, que comíamos un montón, que escribíamos, bueno, plantábamos, que limpiábamos, ya no sabíamos qué hacer. Entonces, ella escribió dos libros. She has written two books. 20 poemas en cada uno, 20 poems in each one, 20 poemas en cada uno, uno emotions and tantrums, emociones y tantrums, and poetries in quarantine, y poemas en cuarentena. Claro, porque nosotros pasamos por distintos sentimientos. We have to get through different emotions. Teníamos que pasar por distintas emociones, sadness, joy, tristeza, alegría, maybe a little bit of depression, quizás también un poquito de depresión. Entonces, bueno, reading is also a way of helping people, writing and reading too. Y escribir también y leer es una forma de ayudar a la gente. That is the reason, esa es la razón por la cual Suchismita has written these both books to help also people. And you can buy them. Are they in Amazon?
Yes, they're all
In
available
Amazon.
in Amazon.
Ahí está, y ustedes pueden adquirirlo en Amazon, ¿ok? Muy bien. We have an audience, so they are greeting you and they want you to send them a gift. Okay, Grita,
I'm
no sé.
very happy and very honored. Namaskar to all. Namaskar from India. You all are very amazing and precious to me because an artist is known by his readers or by his patronizers only.
Ella está agradeciéndole a todos ustedes realmente por estar con nosotros. We have 40 till now, we have 40 in the audience. Tenemos 40 en la audiencia hasta ahora, till now. Okay, so welcome to everybody. Thank you very much. Muchísimas gracias, bienvenidos a todos. Well, tell us a little bit about your new book because you are this pero you are on the point of publishing this just now, in few weeks. Cuéntanos un poquito entonces sobre tu nuevo libro que está ya a punto de ser publicado. Y este libro se llama Ombrophilous Feelings. What is Ombrophilous Feelings about?
So my basically this book I have written back in 2020 only. So it was I don't know, it was my time of creation, or I have written a lot of things at that year. So this book, when I had written, the Ombrophilous feelings is all about transcending the elevation of feelings, imagination, and creativity. I
Beautiful.
can say that Ombrophilous means the capability of carrying the heavy rain. So here the feelings were creating a lot of overwhelming weight on me, and I have created this book to portray that this book has the capability to carry the burden of my words or burden of my emotions or whatever I was feeling as a human being. It can elevate to that and it can present to a bigger audience. So this was the justification of the name only. So it
Beautiful.
is, uh, let me just tell a little bit about my book, which is, it's an intricate embellishment of 30 pieces of poetry and prose both.
Oh,
This literary collection equalizes the essence of verses, letters, poetic odes, short story, and personified diary collections.
that's beautiful, very
It's all mixture.
completely,
Yes,
yes. Wonderful. Uh, let's say I'm going to say to the audience, okay, what it is about. Les voy a contar entonces un poquitito de qué se trata este libro, Ombrophilous Feelings. Obviamente se trata de sentimientos, de imaginación, de creatividad, de emociones humanas, poesía y prosa, poetry and prose. Además van a encontrar letters, también van a encontrar cartas y distintos estudios. Así que es realmente muy, muy completo. Very complete. Beautiful. Okay, I will invite you to read a poem to the audience because they wanted to listen to you telling one of your poems to the audience. So
sure, sure. It
could
will be my
you?
immense pleasure. It will be my immense pleasure. So I will start with the first poetry I had written for this book, and it was
Oh,
back in 2020.
okay.
So the poem was "The World Today." The world today is a mixed chaos of nothingness, a massacre of mismanagement, and a dismantled bowl of foul feelings. Whatever comes first in my mind with the word world is someone serving me a plate of broken poetry, and I need to fix it as soon as possible. Poetry tastes bitter now as the nectar of literature gets sucked by a horde of blasphemous creatures.
Beautiful.
A sudden storm or a sudden thunderbolt in an ocean perfectly goes with the world today. As anything here rises, spreads like an epidemic, and then goes into an immediate ventilation in a blink of eyes. A lot of scattered things hovering around, nobody even cares to look after it. Raindrops trickle down, already reaching to my shoulder, but fails to catch my concerns. The world today is something like that. The world today is slowly sinking deep to a sea, and each and every human busy fixing their tunes to their rhythms. As the guitar named Life should not get its string broken. The monsoon comes in a wrong time and apologizes to the spring as it's destroyed its charm. Don't tell me nature sweeps brutally seldom when the people are trampled like ants innumerably as a decisive result of karma. It cleans like an angry mother, exhausted, after throwing repetitive calls for home's cleanliness towards the sluggish family members. Unfinished novel rotting in the dusty bookshelves, and you have an acute dust allergy, so you refrain yourself from reading. And I exactly have a feeling that our world is the exact novel betrayed by the dust allergy or maybe by the sufferer. The lungs of the world got hurt, burned, and dried. The cannies cried out of excessive pain. We jumped from one channel to another channel, faking is pathetic. Writing poems as a show off, then slept relishing a chicken leg piece. The world itself once kept faith on faith, but faith turned into a chaff book of pictures now, quite like flip pages and get finished, and vanishes browning its deeds. Now the wrenches in the world's hearts are an open gate of entrance and exit. A group of meditators, a morning sky, a wholesome nature, a new sunlight, a new hope, a everything new mania are definitely undeniable in the language of poetry. To compose everything peacefully, even if it seems a sarcastic eyewash to the world today. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Really beautiful, amazing, amazing. Les
Thank
cuento
you.
un poquito que su poema es sobre el mundo hoy, The World Today, es el título del poema. Y hay una parte donde ella habla de que la poesía se encuentra como rota, que hay fantasmas sobre sus hombros, que han sido traídos por por la epidemia y que nadie se ocupa de ver a su alrededor lo que está pasando, que hay enfermedades, diseases, cancer. A mí me gusta mucho una parte donde ella dice, angry mother is like an angry mother exhausted, es como una madre enojada y exhausta y cansada, como una novela sin terminar, as a novel without being finished. Además, ella dice que la tierra de alguna manera se siente traicionada. Realmente lo que se necesita es fe. We have to have faith in the world, ¿no? Que es el mensaje de su poema, a New Light, una nueva luz. Realmente precioso, very, very beautiful. I love that poem and the message too. I will invite you to read another one. Is it possible? From the book?
Yes,
Yes, from this new
definitely.
book.
I will read it. So it's basically written very recently because I was just editing my book and just going through the poems which were fitting and which are not. So I have given it new recent poems.
Un
So
poema
it is,
reciente.
yes. The second poem which I'm going to read is a short poem. The name is The Sky Whispers Ancient Secrets. It's the title. The sky whispers ancient secrets in a foreign language like you, with the gigantic cloudburst of waved bereavement. And then I remember you forgetting your green promises. Both of the events make no sense, leaving mysteries behind, turning me into the sole silent observer. Chaotic moments shriek from one treetop to another, gliding through the mountains, reaching all the ages of existence. I have been drooling over all those green, yellow, red, blue conversations and exchange of language, resting on top of all those pics. Yet they left homes within ourselves. I know the secrets are the pain of refugees, making homes out of their homes.
Oh, how
Thank you.
nice. Thank you very much. Beautiful. The title of the poem is The Sky Whispers Ancient Secrets, okay? El cielo susurra antiguos secretos. Okay, I love from the very beginning. I love this poem from the very beginning, really. And thank you. It's wonderful. Congratulations, really.
Okay, thank you so much.
Les digo que realmente me gusta el poema desde el principio, con un hermoso, precioso título. Y ella dice que se han olvidado muchas promesas y que han sido dejadas atrás todas esas promesas. Mysteries have been left behind, los misterios han sido dejados de lado de alguna forma. Pero ella es una observadora, but she is an observer, pero ella es una observadora de todos los rituales que se realizan. She has been part of different conversations, ha sido parte de diferentes conversaciones and languages sobre todos estos secretos. Realmente, very beautiful poem. Congratulations. Could it be another one, the last one? For the audience, they
Sure,
love
sure.
them.
Definitely. So this poem is, what if one day I forget it all? What if one day I forget it all these letters, poems, stories, and the testament of my soul legacy? Will you be happy for your erased chapter? You never wanted to become a part of it and carry the glory of our love that you took to be a blasphemous act. What if one day I forget it all and emerge as a rebellious agent, selling my anger to your own enemies, playing a pivotal role in radicalist and separatist actions? What if one day I forget it all and nothing ever gives you a single chance of wearing embarrassment on your skin by knowing the heart wrenching truth I shall be living in this birth? What if one day I forget it all and ancient stories that are felt and repeated in this present scenario break the shackle of repetitive patterns? Shall I be remembered as a bringer of new revolution or as a failed lover to the eye of the universe? This poem is very personal. It is written on a personal basis on my life. So it's quite emotional, and it's very close to my heart.
That's wonderful. Well, we open our hearts when we write, and the audience feels that they are in our shoes also, because they can feel the same. So
Exactly.
is really wonderful to be able to make this contact. Because they sometimes they cannot say what they feel, and we can help them to express themselves
Exactly.
through us too.
Exactly. Exactly. Absolutely.
It's true. Yes, it's true. Le cuento, les digo un poquito a la audiencia. I'm going to tell to the audience, okay, to the Spanish audience too. El poema se llama What if one day we forget all. ¿Qué es lo que sucedería si un día nosotros nos olvidamos todo? ¿Qué es lo que pasaría con esas antiguas historias? What are going to happen to those stories, ancient stories, to what is going to happen with us, con nosotros también. Eh, we we have to remember things. I think that it has a real deep message, un profundo mensaje para la gente. I love it. I love it. I really, really love your messages, your poems, and the way you express your feelings. So congratulations, really. They are
Thank you so much,
amazing.
ma'am. It means really a lot, a very big thing to me, a very big prize, big honor to me that you've got it connected and you felt my emotions and feelings, which I have turned into words, and then making me connected with other audiences and also translating my poems. It's a big, big, big honor to me. I'm grateful and blessed.
Thank you very much. We are also very proud of having you in our program. And well, I think that the internet has made this magic, but not only the internet,
Yes, making
but
us
also
all
the
connected in
ancient.
one platform. I mean, like we are a big one world only now. Through internet, it has been possible to feel like that.
Yeah. Yes, I feel like you are at my home, and I feel as I am at your
Yes,
home
yes,
to
definitely.
share, this love, our love for writings and
Exactly.
poetry. So it's exciting. Thank you very much for being with us. Namaste.
Thank you so
Um,
much for inviting me, and it's really a big honor for me to get this golden opportunity to present my poems. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you very much. And I'm telling to the audience that you can continue watching our programs because we have a lot for you. So don't move from there. And we are going to transmit, of course, from Casa AM, writers and artists from all over the world. Thank you very much, Suchismita. A kiss for everybody in India. We love you, Suchismita, the
Love
audience
you too.
says. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.